For MSO Web Radio, I'm Rick Moore, and once again it's time for From the Mayor's Office with Gloucester Mayor Carolyn Kirk. And Mayor, we have had some great weather. It feels like summer.
Yes. Hi, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good.
Excellent.
Glad that rain has cleared away.
Oh, I know. Speaking of that, now, are there any leftover residual problems from all that bad weather we got? I know that through the incident command team, I was talking to Ms. McMahon about things that residents can do in terms of if they have damage and so on.
Yeah, on the city website is the information for FEMA and MEMA claims. The storms have been covered under federal assistance, but surprisingly, Gloucester was not hit that hard on the rain events. Really, the one that was damaging to us was the wind event. And the wind storm, this is Gloucester's luck sometimes.
Not covered.
Not covered. Yeah,
okay.
and you know, that rainwater just kind of rolls right into the Atlantic Ocean. A lot of the inland communities that had rivers rising, that's where that flood damage came into play.
Right.
We had situational flooding, Hesperus Ave, the Magnolia Ave by the train bridge, homes here and there. But in terms of the city, our infrastructure, our seawalls, our harbor infrastructure, it held up very, very well.
How about the roads? I know because on Route 62 in Danvers, that was a huge problem. Any major problems with roads here?
Well, you know, as I like to say, it's amazing we have any roads left after the winter that we've had and the punishing rains. I mean, so potholes, not sinkholes like they have in Danvers, but the potholes have certainly cropped up. We have crews out every single day throughout the city just trying to stay on top of it. The permanent repair facility that supplies the material doesn't open until April 15th, which is a challenge. So, you know, you do the cold patch, you try to use the hot box and get as much hot tar down as you can. But it's an ongoing battle to try to stay on top of and get control of the potholes. And every time it rains, we lose ground.
Right. What about updating some of the current events? The waterfront package we talked about the last time.
I-4C2.
I-4C2, okay.
Yep, and that's the blighted land between the Gloucester House and the Building Center on Rogers Street. We have a public hearing on that Tuesday, April 13th, before the City Council at City Hall at 7 p.m. And I'm urging citizens to step forward and come out to the public hearing and basically say, hey, we deserve better than to have a blighted parcel for 45 years on a prime piece of real estate on our waterfront that is steps away from our main street. So we want to get that parcel moving, put it to positive, productive use. It's a key piece to the economic development plan and the harbor plan for the city.
Okay. What about the water situation? I know that one of the reservoirs had been closed or had been being worked on or something like that. What's the update on that?
Yeah, the water treatment plant, the Babson plant, is the one that is down for construction, and we're running on West Gloucester. We're on schedule. We have a deadline of July 1st. We're doing an 18-month project, and it's about up to $10 million project in about 6 months. So it's an aggressive schedule, but it's on schedule. And the reservoir levels are holding their own. One of the fears we had is that we dwindled down the water supply before we had the chance to switch back to the reservoirs that are full. And the rain has helped enormously. So that's good news. Also, Congressman Tierney was in town this past week, along with Secretary Bowles, who oversees DEP, and they made the announcement of the stimulus funding that we had received. So we got low-interest loans, and we had a forgiveness of loans of about $2 million. So we're really pleased to see that the stimulus money is working for Gloucester. It's still not enough. I mean, it never is enough, but we're very grateful for the participation that we have on that.
Well, speaking of money, where is Gloucester in terms of fiscal year budget process and so on?
Well, the school committee, and I sit on the school committee, is wrestling with their budget. You know, we're not going to see a lot of growth in positions and services and programs. The spending climate just needs to remain very conservative. So they're wrestling their budget. The city is undertaking its review of its budget. So we have the CFO and my chief of staff sitting with department heads and managers just combing through budgets. And by May 1st, we will have a balanced budget that we submit to City Council. And then they'll wrestle it to the ground and determine whether or not they agree with our priorities. But, you know, we're not seeing huge upswings. People say, well, you passed the meals tax, the room tax. You know, that revenue goes to plug the hole
Right.
that's been created through the loss of state aid. That's a break even. That's not a windfall of cash for the city to go out and spend a lot of money.
And finally, you know, we're coming up onto summer season soon. The Apide Andrew Bridge is still under construction,
Yeah.
but we have to talk about tourist season soon, so
Yeah.
we'll save that for a future date. But
Yeah.
any thoughts about as we get ready for swing from spring to summer?
Well, the swing from spring to summer, it's all about getting the cemeteries prepared for Memorial Day, getting the beaches prepared for an onslaught of visitors. It's about picking up trash and switching to the weekend trash pickup. We don't have crews out on the weekends this early. And so we make a big transition. We bring on a lot of summer part-time staff, lifeguards, for example, parking lot attendants. So we're gearing up to be ready for what they tell me is going to be a sunny, bright, beautiful summer.
All right. With that, we'll end this session from the Mayor's office. That's Gloucester Mayor Carolyn Kirk. For MSO Web Radio, I'm Rick Moore.